Welcome to FPL Differential XI, a series where we pick a team of 11 lowly owned players who we predict to score the most points for the upcoming game week, to assist you in gaining substantial rank over other fantasy managers. There's just 3 rules. The squad must be worth no more than 82.5 million, each player must be owned by a maximum of 10% of total players in the game, and we're only allowed to pick a maximum of 3 players from a single team. A silhouette of each player we've selected is already on the pitch, so feel free to play along by seeing how many of the 11 you can correctly guess. Kicking off the team in goal, it's Keylor Navas for Nottingham Forest's home match against Southampton. Gameweek 35 looks to be a week where there aren't too many guaranteed clean sheets, but I think the pick of the bunch has to be Forest at home to the Saints. Although Nottingham Forest have leaked a fair few goals this season, at home they've performed well, picking up 6 wins and 6 draws, which is a better home record than Chelsea this season. On the other hand, Southampton have only scored 12 goals in 16 away matches, and there doesn't seem to be any cohesion within their attacking build-up play. Joining the defence to begin with, I've selected Pedro Porro for his home match against Crystal Palace. Although I don't expect Tottenham to keep a clean sheet in this game, Pedro Porro's main appeal comes from his attacking threat. He takes corners and free kicks for Spurs, and last week he scored from open play against Man United. Although Tottenham have performed inconsistently of late, they have got some decent home form, with 4 wins from their last 6 matches. Crystal Palace seem to be improving since Roy Hodgson took charge around a month ago, but even so I'd expect Spurs to be the favourites for the 3 points. Even with multiple changes to their starting 11, Brighton were completely dominant in that very convincing 6-0 win over Wolves the other day, and I fancy a part of their defence for another clean sheet this week against a struggling Everton side. Estupiñán was one of the standout performers for the Seagulls in Gameweek 34, but seeing as he's over 10% selected, I've decided on opting for someone almost guaranteed to play in Lewis Dunk. Everton have not won in the league since Gameweek 27, and their last away win came all the way back in Gameweek 9 against Southampton, so I'd be very surprised if they came away with anything from this match. Completing the 3-man defence is Diogo Dalot for Man United's away match against West Ham. With injuries to players across United's back line including Martinez and Varane, there's been a fair amount of reshuffling which has seen Shaw move across to centre-back and Dalot fill in at left-back. To me, he's probably the pick to go for from United's defence, as he's likely to be the one in the most advanced positions on the pitch, providing potential attacking returns. Although West Ham have improved massively lately and picked up some good results, their only home wins since the turn of the year came against other relegation-threatened sides in Everton, Forest and Southampton. With what appeared to be an injury to Joel Veltman late on in the game against Wolves, the likelihood is that Alexis McAllister will play further back on the pitch in a defensive midfield role for the foreseeable future. While this might affect his FPL points potential, he's still on free kicks and penalties, and he was benched in the game against Wolves, so he should be fully rested and ready to start this match against Everton. The Toffees have only picked up 1 away win in the league this season, and Brighton have won 3 of their last 4 home games, so you'd expect the Seagulls to be big favourites for a win in this one. One player who almost always seems to return when he makes it into the starting lineup is Riyad Mahrez, and I've included him here in the Differential 11 this week for Man City's home match against Leeds. City have been ruthless this season, especially at home, where they've scored 13 goals across their last 4 matches. This looks to be the fixture to target this game week, as Leeds have been incredibly leaky in the defensive department, conceding 13 times in their last 4 fixtures. I'd expect Bernardo to start over Mahrez in City's massive Champions League semi-final tie against Real Madrid in the week, which means the Algerian should have a higher chance of playing this weekend. Joining the midfield is a player who I think has a good chance of returning this game week, and that's Son for Tottenham's home game versus Crystal Palace. Having just surpassed 100 goals for Spurs, Son has recently picked up some decent form in the league, scoring in 4 consecutive home matches. Although Palace appear to have improved under Roy Hodgson, they're still conceding plenty of chances, having let in 3 goals and 2 goals against West Ham and Wolves respectively. With a second half resurgence from Tottenham during the week, where they were able to rescue a point against United, my hope is that they bring that performance into the weekend against the Eagles. One player who has hugely gone under the radar this season in FPL with 11 returns, including 6 goals and 5 assists, is Joe Linton, and I fancy him to get something from this home encounter with Arsenal. Joe Linton has scored 4 goals since Gameweek 29, and he looks to be the most advanced Newcastle player across the left-hand side of the pitch, continuously taking on opponents and driving with the ball into the box. After an impressive 7 league wins in a row, Arsenal have had a real slump in form, picking up only 3 points out of a possible 12 and conceding 11 goals during that time, and I can definitely see the Magpies' high press causing them issues. With City travelling to Madrid for the first leg of their Champions League semi-final tie on Tuesday night, the likelihood is that we see reduced minutes for Erling Haaland in the league this weekend against Leeds, which makes Julian Alvarez an appealing differential for our FPL teams. Even though Alvarez has only started 7 Premier League matches this season, he's managed to return an impressive 7 goals and 2 assists, and against a team like Leeds, I wouldn't be surprised to see him add to that record. Having just beaten Arsenal convincingly, City will want to continue putting pressure on their title rivals by picking up another 3 points this weekend. Leicester managed to rescue a huge point in their bid to avoid relegation last week against Leeds. Jamie Vardy scored his first goal since Gameweek 13. However, in the build-up to the goal, Kelechi Iheanacho picked up a groin injury, and he now looks to be unavailable for the remainder of the season. Although Daka is another option for Dean Smith to play up front, I just have a feeling that Vardy will be favoured to start, and he'll be a pivotal player if the Foxes are to avoid the drop. Fulham are a side that some might say have nothing to play for, and with 5 defeats from their last 7 matches, they're certainly a team that Leicester can get at. Another return last game week has now taken Dominic Solanke to 5 goals and 10 assists for the campaign, and with 3 wins from their last 4 matches, Bournemouth are looking increasingly likely to remain in the Premier League for another season. On the other hand, Chelsea have only picked up 1 point of a possible 15 across their last 5 league games, and with the way they've improved lately, I can definitely see Bournemouth scoring at least 1 goal in this fixture. Solanke is likely to play 90 minutes and also has penalties. I definitely think he's the safest bet to go for among the Cherries' attacking assets. Just a quick reminder to let you know that this could be your channel appearing on the series. If you want to be in with a chance of winning a shout out on the channel, correctly predict the points total of this week's Differential 11. Info will be down below in the pinned comment. Thanks for joining us on this week's video. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to avoid missing the next one, and I wish you all massive green arrows for the upcoming game week.